A modern-day time travel book for young people from a former White House speechwriter. Author Sean O'Brien takes us on a thrilling and fun look inside the White House. The new middle grade series, The White House Clubhouse, connects a fictional U.S. president's children of today with those of the past. And joining us with a look at the first book in the series, former director of speechwriting to President and First Lady Jill Biden, author Sean O'Brien. Hey, Sean, thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me. This is great.
My kids are beyond the age of this book, but I'm not. So I read it. And so I wanted to ask you, the first book that the first president these kids visit is President Teddy Roosevelt. I was sort of curious, you know, because you could have had Obama or you could have had Lincoln, people with little kids. Why Roosevelt? Was it because of all the animals, too?
So he had so many animals in that White House. It was, to call it a zoo is not hyperbole. It was like he literally had 20 pets, ranging from ponies to hyenas to a bear at one point. And he also had 6 kids who were all very interesting and dynamic in their own ways. So me and my kids, we got interested in him that way, just reading about the pets. And then that led to this story about them bringing the pony up to the second floor of the White House, which actually happened. And that kind of inspired the rest of the story. What if you could go back in time and hang out with them?
Well, you know, interestingly, Teddy Roosevelt once said, I don't think any family has enjoyed the White House more than we have, so you pumped up that enjoyment. The premise of this book, Marissa and Clara are the 2 kids of a female president. They get sort of lost in through a door in the state dining room, and they end up back in time. I have to tell you, people I've talked to about this book say it was very much like the Magic Tree series. Was that a model for you?
Look, so Mary Pope Osborne was the author that when my child was in 2nd grade, they were asked to name women that they admire. And, you know, they went to the board and they wrote their cousin Holly's name and Mary Pope Osborne. So I have great respect for her work. And, you know, this is really, you know, take that maybe 3 grades up. So kids who enjoyed Magic Tree House when they were in 2nd grade, they should enjoy it now in 5th and 6th grade with White House Clubhouse.
So you got an extensive background really in Washington with some local congressmen here who you were chief of staff for. So you send the kids on a great adventure. They saved California's redwood forest. They address greedy industrialists. So as I'm reading it, I'm thinking to myself, and in one reference you actually, I think, accurately quote Teddy Roosevelt talking about the loss of resources. It seems as though it's a work of fiction, but you've got some reality weaved in there.
Oh, sure. Yeah, there's a lot of reality in terms of, first of all, what was happening back in the, 1903. There really were these kind of competing forces. And Teddy Roosevelt really did, go on kind of an epic camping trip that inspired the creation of the National Park Service. It's a wild story on its own. But, kids these days, they're confronting issues regarding both the environment and then also, whether they can actually make any kind of a difference. And they're also, think about what they put up with the last few years, with COVID. They've all been in a form of lockdown. So, reading about kids who are in a Secret Service lockdown isn't that much of a leap. Yeah, so I really do hope it connects with them in their modern perspective.
Yeah, at one point there's a reference where it said, hey, he's got measles, and Clara says, well, I got vaxxed. And I kind of wondered, were there some political messages weaved in that way from you?
Well, it's not really political. It's just a matter of what kids experience. I mean, that is language that didn't exist, maybe 10 years ago. But now that is something that every kid knows about. And honestly, they really led the way in terms of, you want to talk about COVID. They showed such leadership. I'm talking about kids in general, in terms of, okay, here's what we have to do. Okay, in order to stay safe, we're going to do that. They're really teaching their parents. And I really think that kids have a lot to teach their parents on every subject.
Well, yeah, and you also did a lot of homework. You had real characters like Sheriff Bill Jones. Wasn't a huge figure in history, but he was to Teddy Roosevelt's life. So how did you select the actual people who you bring in? Because, Sheriff Bill Jones was sort of not known for how well he treated people.
Right. Sure. No, absolutely. And honestly, there's these are fictionalized versions of people, but they have these, there's all these remarkable characters that were in and out of Teddy Roosevelt's life. And that's what kind of draws me to, even before when I was a speechwriter, I always looked for the characters, the stories. People respond more to that instead of data and, policy. If you can show the human side of something. So when I was working at the Department of the Navy, you found all these remarkable stories about former sailors and Marines that were there. And when reading about Teddy Roosevelt, got to know things like, Sheriff Bill Jones, who was a rough character who, helped clean up, this Cowtown
Yeah.
with Teddy Roosevelt as his deputy, and then he worked as a ranch hand on Teddy Roosevelt's farm. So he was basically boss and subordinate to this guy at different points.
And, you know, and people think, how does a speechwriter go? How does he do this? But you have a background in comedy, in Second City, and in Annoyance Theater, which is so well famous. So that explains a lot. I know your daughters played a critical role. You ran things by them. They said, no, get rid of that, Dad, or change it.
Absolutely.
But I do have to ask you, just almost out of time, but this is meant to be going to be a series. Can you tell us who's next?
Sure. Yeah, I'm looking at the War of 1812. You know, speaking of those Navy stories, I'd love to get into that. And, you know, it's something we're going to try to do this every year. And I'm going to be coming out to Chicago tomorrow. I'll be in Evanston at 11 o'clock at a place called Booked on Main Street. So love to meet anybody and talk to them about where the series is going.
I know you are going to come here because I'm going to mention that right now. I've got the book in hand. Look forward to having you sign it. You can check out the book release party and signing at Booked in Evanston, as Sean said, on Saturday at 11. For more information, visit bookedevanston.com. Thank you, Sean.
Hey, thank you. I really appreciate it.